Hello, everybody. I am Greg Audino, and this is episode 306 of Optimal Living Advice, our advice column style show here in the OLD network, on which I take your questions about various life struggles and offer guidance and support. Now, many of the questions we receive are about love and romance, as it is such a strong pillar of our lives and such a huge source of meaning. And today's question may seem to fall under that same umbrella, but I don't think it does completely. Let's hear what's on this listener's mind and try to dig a level deeper as we optimize your life. I'm struggling to prioritize dating. There are so many things I'm juggling in my life, aren't we all, that I don't make time to make dating a priority at all. I really dislike online dating apps because I'm used to the traditional way of meeting people, organically. When I use dating apps, I feel like it's a chore. I'm not exactly sure how to make progress in this regard. Do you have any advice or suggestions? Okay, thanks for sending this in, Asker. You're right, we are all juggling so many different responsibilities. And just like you are, we're often left wondering why it is that one part of life we would also like to add to our calendars keeps getting left behind somehow. You know, we make the time for so many things, so why is it that this one thing keeps coming up short? And is there a way to change that? You know, when we find ourselves asking such a question, the fact is that the answer always boils down to one possibility. And I know that's maybe a little anticlimactic, but what it boils down to is that we are not willing to make sacrifices for it. And why aren't we willing to make sacrifices for it? Well, maybe we just don't care about that particular thing as much as we think we do, would like to, or feel we should. Or maybe we feel a deep sense of scarcity and don't trust that sacrifices made to the life we currently know will end up paying dividends. Or perhaps we've just been fortunate enough thus far that we've not had to make many sacrifices in order to be granted what we want. So, as you hear all that, I encourage you to ask yourself, which is it for you, Asker? Is it possible that you're actually pretty happy with your current existence as a single person and you don't make time for dating because in reality you kind of like your other pastimes more than dating? Or have you made your life out to be a great balancing act, worried that if you remove one item from it, to make more time for dating, everything will come crashing down? Or are you not used to having to make sacrifices in order to get what you want? Now, there's nothing wrong with you answering yes to any of these options. That's simply the point that you've arrived at in life. And it can be changed if you'd like it to be. But the truth lies, I guarantee you, the truth lies somewhere between those questions. And if you truly feel like it doesn't, then look in the nearest possible outskirts. But if you do come to the conclusion that dating actually does mean a lot to you right now, rather than just dating because you feel you should or you're worried about time withering away, then progress is not going to be made easily, as is often the case. Something will have to be sacrificed. So I say we just do a little math to find out what that something should be. And I know that math doesn't always sound the most appetizing, certainly when it comes to matters of the heart. But as someone who hates math, just hear me out, because I do feel like math can help us make sense of our motivations sometimes. So, ask yourself this. Does your disdain for dating apps outweigh your disdain for being single? If you could name a percentage, how likely do you think you are to find a partner by using a dating app? How likely do you think you are to find a partner by not using a dating app? As you see it, is the percentage of you meeting someone out in the wild when weighed against how much you want to meet someone worth replacing one of your current priorities with? So we then might consider how fulfilling each of your current priorities are and trying our best to measure their worths. I'm sorry to be putting everyone through this. I know it makes me want to throw up too. But boiled down, it's a question of how much you want to meet someone versus how much you want to maintain both your distance from dating apps as well as your current schedule. That's all this is. Which are you willing to sacrifice and for what odds? And forgive me if that sounds blunt or oversimplified, But it is the truth. I feel really confident about that. It's a simple truth. The only way that this gets complicated is by your emotions. What are you attached to? What can't you let go of? Why is sacrifice feeling impossible? If you're still haunted by this question, that would be why. That's an answer I can't give you, but it is the perfect place to start your own self-reflection or to begin talks with a counselor. And look, this may not lead down a deep, dark road. Sacrifices might be easier the more you consider how to cut corners and take the edge off. You know, like if you're working a lot, can you delegate and ask someone from work to hook you up with a friend? Can you modify or join certain dating apps to make them more enjoyable for you? Some out-of-the-box thinking about how to alter your current commitments and viewpoints like this might do the trick. But if not, then you might be looking at some more challenging self-discovery. This would be self-discovery that's well worth the time, though. I can't think of many better lessons than learning how to make and embrace sacrifices. All right, and that will bring us to the end. Asker, I really wish you the best of luck with your math homework here, and hope that you're able to gain some clarity on how to move things around in either your inner or outer life so as to be more at peace with your dating life. And good news, because sacrifice is at the core of most everything we want to achieve. So you can save this template and return to it with all sorts of other struggles you might have. And that goes for all of you. Now, if you have a question of your own that you would like to submit to the show for my help, listeners, please go ahead and do so. The email you can reach me at is advice@oldpodcast.com, advice@oldpodcast.com. Send your questions there, and you will definitely hear back from me. That's a promise. It's time to wrap up, though, folks. So have a great rest of your day. Keep those questions coming in, and I'll talk to you next time, where your optimal life awaits.